rock history has too often been told through the voices of men, the guitar gods, the frontmen, the icons. But behind that spotlight, women were not just participating, they were rewriting the rules. They were dismissed as too emotional, too aggressive, too strange. And yet, through defiance, grief, rage, and resilience, they gave us some of the most unforgettable songs in rock history. These tracks are stories of survival. They are the moments when women turned pain into power, when they took the stage in a world that didn't want them there and left it changed forever. Here are 10 female rock songs we'll never forget. Not just because they were hits, but because they became lifelines. Me and Bobby McGee, Janis Joplin. Recorded just days before her death, Me and Bobby McGee became Janis Joplin's biggest hit, a song forever tied to her final days. Written by Chris Christopherson, it wasn't hers originally, but through her gravelly, aching delivery, she transformed it into something no one else could have sung.
Just before it rained.
Behind the song was a woman at war with herself, addiction, loneliness, and the relentless pressure of being one of the only women on male-dominated festival stages.
He's looking for that home, and I hope he finds it.
The rawness of her voice wasn't just art. It was a cry for help, unfiltered and unforgettable.
But feeling good was easy down when he sang the blues.
Edge of 17. Stevie Nicks.
Just like the white-winged dove, sings a song that sounds like she's singing.
Born from grief, Edge of 17 was written after the deaths of both Stevie Nicks' uncle and John Lennon. The track captures loss, longing, and resilience all in one, delivered through her singular, husky voice. For years, record execs dismissed her lyrics and sound as too witchy, too mystical, or too emotional. Instead of toning it down, Stevie turned those very qualities into her signature, rewriting what femininity in rock could look and sound like. Even the iconic white-winged dove lyric came from a simple misheard phrase at a restaurant, showing her gift for spinning the ordinary into the eternal. I love rock and roll. Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. Rejected by 23 record labels, Joan Jett refused to give up. She scraped together her own money, started her own label, and self-produced the song that the industry said would never work.
So I got up and asked for his name.
Critics called her too aggressive for a female artist, too tough, too unapologetic. But that sneer and leather-clad defiance became her signature. And when I Love Rock and Roll finally hit, it didn't just succeed, it exploded.
With me. Yeah, me. Next we were moving on. Here with me.
Today, it's one of the most instantly recognizable rock songs in history. Because the Night, Patti Smith. Co-written with Bruce Springsteen, Because the Night could have been just another rock ballad. But Patti Smith reshaped it with her poetry, turning it into something fierce and intimate, written at a time when she was falling in love, terrified, and inspired all at once. For years, her work was deemed too intellectual or too strange, for mainstream radio. This song became her crossover moment, bridging poetry and punk, vulnerability and rebellion. She's called the godmother of punk, yet classic rock stations still rarely give her voice the recognition it deserves. Brass in Pocket, The Pretenders. When The Pretenders first broke through, critics dismissed Chrissie Hynde's voice as weak.
Gonna use my legs, gonna use my style,
Instead of retreating, she leaned into it, delivering Brass in Pocket with quiet confidence that hit harder than any scream. As one of the first women to front a successful rock band, she faced constant sexism in the punk and new wave scenes. But with style, wit, and razor-sharp writing, she carved out her own lane. The song itself is pure declaration. Gonna use my arms, gonna use my legs.
gonna use my legs, gonna use my style.
Not just lyrics, but a manifesto of presence. Barracuda. Heart. Barracuda wasn't just a rock song, it was a thunderclap. Written after music executives spread false rumors that Anne and her sister Nancy were lovers, the track became a fury-fueled clapback delivered with one of the most powerful voices in rock history. Ann Wilson's vocals could level an arena, yet she was constantly overshadowed by the male guitar gods of her era. With Barracuda, she proved that her voice was an instrument of equal, if not greater, force. It remains one of rock's fiercest anthems, a scream that silenced the suits. Nothing Compares to You, Sinead O'Connor. Originally written by Prince, Nothing Compares to You became immortal through Sinead O'Connor's stripped-down, devastating performance. No theatrics, no ego, just pure heartbreak laid bare for the world.
Since you've been gone, I can do whatever I want.
Her career, however, was defined as much by her defiance as by her music. When she tore up a photo of the Pope on live television, the backlash was swift and merciless.
Fight the real enemy.
The media mocked her, radio stations blacklisted her, and her career never fully recovered.
You said, try your best, try to have fun, no matter what you...
Yet in death, the narrative shifted. Sinead's unflinching truth-telling is now seen as prophetic. Her voice a haunting reminder of how the world often silences women who speak too soon, too loudly, or too honestly.
Where did I go wrong?
Zombie, The Cranberries. Written in response to violence in Northern Ireland, Zombie wasn't just another 90s alt-rock hit. It was a protest anthem. Some stations banned it for being too political, but Dolores O'Riordan's haunting delivery made it impossible to ignore.
When the violence causes silence.
It's said she recorded the song in a single take, pouring raw power and sorrow into every note. Her voice was eerie, emotional, the kind that cut straight through the noise.
It's the same old teen since 1960.
After her sudden death in 2018, the track found a massive revival, echoing louder than ever. You Oughta Know, Alanis Morissette, written off as a failed pop singer. Then came You Oughta Know, raw, jagged, and unapologetic. It hit like a live wire. The track fueled endless speculation about who it was written for, but the gossip never mattered. What mattered was Alanis's voice cracked open a generation, proving that rage and vulnerability could share the same stage. Bring Me to Life, Evanescence. When Bring Me to Life erupted in the early 2000s, it didn't sound like anything, and Amy Lee's soaring, operatic voice, it blurred the lines between rock, symphony, and darkness. Evanescence was dismissed at first as a novelty act, but this track won a Grammy and forced the industry to take notice. Still, Amy Lee had to fight to be taken seriously in a hard rock world dominated by men. Her voice, however, turned pain into power, giving an entire generation a soundtrack for survival. From Janis Joplin's gravelly cry to Amy Lee's gothic roar, these 10 songs carry more than melodies. They carry battles, heartbreaks, and revolutions. Each track is proof that women in rock didn't just follow the rules, they rewrote them, sometimes at great personal cost. These voices weren't always welcomed. They were silenced, doubted, ridiculed, or ignored. Yet their songs outlasted every critic, every gatekeeper, every attempt to push them aside. They became anthems not just for women, but for anyone who's ever felt underestimated. That's why these aren't just hits we'll never forget. They're immortal echoes. The queens of rock survived. They fought, and they carved their names into history loud enough to be heard forever.